TV International. Um, Today we'll be talking to someone very special from South Africa, the General Secretary of the Yoruba Association in South Africa. Welcome to to Cleveland Studio, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, how is it in South Africa today, sir?
To God be the glory. To God be the glory.
What is the time saying in South Africa now?
This is 20 to 11. 20 to
20 to
11.
11.
Mm.
Oh, that PM.
Yeah, PM.
So
PM.
we are just 1 hour different.
That's correct. That's correct. Very correct.
Okay. Thanks for being on Cleveland Studio. Can you please
Mm.
tell us your name, sir, please?
Quickly, let me make some correction.
Okay.
I am not the Secretary General of Egbemo Yoruba, Southern Africa. I
Okay.
am I am the Secretary General of a chapter of the National, which is Western Cape.
Oh,
We have
based in
yeah
Western Cape.
yeah we have a
Okay.
National Secretary General, and Egbemo Yoruba has a branches, which is what we call chapter in Southern Africa. So
Okay.
I am in the chapter. I am the secretary of that chapter. So I still have a general secretary of the national.
Okay.
Mm.
Welcome to the studio, sir. Can you tell us
Thank you.
about yourself, sir?
Thank you very much. My my name is Tao ODUTAYO, and I've been based in South Africa for quite a while now. A typical Yoruba man. I believe in where I come from as a Yoruba man, and I'm a family man, a happily married man. My wife is from Zambia, and
Gambia.
we are Zambia.
Zambia. Okay.
That's correct, and we are blessed with kids. And I'm into tourism and hospitality in Western Cape. I own a tour company. I've got two companies I'm running. One is called Galaxy Express Tours and Travel, and the other one is called Claza Innovation International. Claza is a Xhosa word, one of the indigenous language of South Africa, if not the majority indigenous language. Claza means green,
It means what,
and
sir?
it means green.
Green.
Green, yes, G
Okay.
R E N.
Okay.
And Claza is into recycling, and we do forex trading under it.
Forex trading.
Yeah,
So you are into trading.
there's a division of forex trading under Claza in Innovation International. And to the glory of God, we are one of those who is blessed, one of the Nigerians that is blessed in South Africa, and we thank God for what I personally thank God for what He's doing in my life and the life of Nigerians, Yoruba in particular, in general.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Sir, I noticed in your name you have a lot of titles down there in South Africa. A lot of titles down there in South Africa.
Uh,
Do you how come in South Africa? Do you have a king or something?
no, no. As one of the believer of Yoruba tradition, I don't think it's part of our culture that we should have a king outside our land, particularly in an area where it's not typically Yoruba descent area. I can understand if we have a king in like Brazil or in Benin. Those are areas where part of the root of Yoruba, but not in South Africa. We don't have a king, and I'm one of those who doesn't support to breach the tradition or the culture. So we don't have a king here,
But
and we
what can you tell us about Yoruba in general? A little brief about what you know about Yoruba history.
Okay. We are still very young, but if you look at my surname, sometimes some people ask me my own is too much on the Yoruba issue in South Africa, and I normally respond to them maybe because of my surname. My surname is ODUTAYO, and you know what? And it's related to Odu. You know Odudua, Odutayo. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I am even very much uncomfortable addressing the issue with this kind of English. I would have preferred to speak in Yoruba, but I'll do it in English because I know this is going all over the world. So as a Yoruba man, I believe in my tradition and my culture, and I'm one of those who love to display my tradition, particularly in the land where we are in South Africa. They believe in tradition and they uphold their culture. The the kings of this country from different tribes, they are well respected, and the people of the country mostly even listen to the kings than the government. So I believe we are losing a lot of things by throwing away our heritage. We are able to do little because we don't uphold our heritage, our culture, our tradition.
You mean
But
in
especially
Nigeria?
even diaspora, particularly in Nigeria where we come from, where you have to speak to people from Yoruba land and it's going to be English. People that grow up all their life is in Nigeria, in Yoruba land. And when you start speaking to them, they start speaking, you start speaking with them to them in Yoruba, and they start speaking to you in English as if they don't even know what Yoruba means. And that we are not helping our heritage. We are not helping our culture. Even I would be one of those who will support if the government can go back to the basics, that we should start teaching every subject in Yoruba. Because
Wow.
English should be a subject on its own.
That
China
that
is
would be strange. How would they cope when they
that is the mistake we are making. You see, how is China coping? How is Japan coping? How is the Arab world coping? How is some of the European countries coping where we have lived before? The Dutch are not speaking English. The Germans are not speaking English. How is French people coping?
But how can
Most
you
of this,
translate a language, a subject that you did not create?
that is the problem. If we can understand, if we can have that understanding that English is a subject on its own. I'll give you an example now. You go to Germany, in the classroom, every subject is being taught in German language. English is a subject on its own if you want to do English. But we have been so brainwashed that they take away our language. How do you explain to a child born in Yoruba land and a child born in English for them to come and sit down and write English exam? How do you think that Yoruba child want to pass more than that English child? How do you? There are many things that our great grandfather is doing in Nigeria. When in Yoruba land, when you look at herbs, there are ways we cannot explain some herbs in English that need to be explained properly in Yoruba language.
Okay.
So look at that's why I'm giving you an example. How does China survive? I'm trying to be the superpower of the world now because they uphold their language, they uphold their heritage. Their
But still,
language
they,
is
they, they learn other languages too.
I am not disputing us learning other language, but other language should not be first priority. I'll give you an example where I am currently at now in South Africa. Are you getting my point now?
Yeah.
When your child is schooling in Eastern Cape, it's a typical Xhosa language they used to teach their children. You go to their parliament, for example, they have 11 official language. All members of parliament can speak English. But when it comes to time for any parliamentarian to address the house, he uses his language to address the house.
So how would the others understand what he's
There is
saying?
an interpreting machine there. And this is what has been happening for how many years since we have been in this country, going to 20 years. There's never been a complaint.
But do you think that can work in Nigeria?
There is nothing that cannot work in Nigeria. It is the mentality that we put at the back of our head. There is nothing that cannot work in Nigeria. It's about belief and having an understanding of it. It will work perfectly. I'll give you an example. Yoruba, we have so much lost our heritage and our tradition to the extent that we cannot even identify where we are coming from. Look at people from the East. I have a lot of friends from the East here. There is never anywhere, whatever they achieve, professorship or the highest level of education, they teach their children Igbo. In this country where I'm telling you, we have an Igbo school where they are teaching their children born in diaspora. But we
So why
Yorubas,
don't you why don't the Yoruba community do the same?
that's where we are going now. That is where we are going. That's what we are trying to do. That was one of the reasons why when we brought Are Onokakanfo here, we actually find it a need for him to meet with the traditional rulers of this country. Are you with me? So we are about to start Yoruba school.
Can you tell me the meaning of Are Onokakanfo? What does that mean?
Okay. Are Onokakanfo of Yoruba land
Yes.
is one of the keeper, is one of the protector of the culture and tradition of Yoruba land and the defender of Yoruba race when it comes to times of war or something that is going to affect the Yorubas. That is his position in Yoruba land.
Okay. You can go on with the other explanation.
So we are getting to that level where we want to have a Yoruba school in South Africa so that we can be able to grow and keep our heritage, our language. There is something there is a carnival that is always going on in South Africa here, particularly in Western Cape. We are looking for a way where we are going to be part of it, to be displaying the culture.
Is it South
I
African
find
program or Nigerian
it, yeah,
program?
it is a South African program. It is South African carnival. It's a South African carnival. I find it. I will tell you one thing. Like I said, I'm into hospitality and tourism, and in this country they uphold a cultural tourism. Do you know how many European Americans are pouring into this country just because of the culture? To just go and visit the traditional area. And I look at this. I've been in this industry for many years in this country, but I look at it. It's not even half of what we have in Nigeria in general in terms of tradition and culture. But are we Nigerians making use of that? Are we marketing that? Are we standing the country in that
But
area?
why do you think they are not going to Nigeria and they prefer South Africa?
Because Nigeria did not market. We are not marketing what we have. It's because South Africa take what they have to the world, market what they have.
You don't
We
think it's
like.
because they accept South Africans more because they are mixed with
I don't think so. I have been attending different international tourism market. I have never for once see where Nigerian bring any Nigerian, what do you call it, um, display their table. Are you getting my point now? I have
yeah.
attended WTM in London. I have attended even in Spain. There in Barcelona. I have attended in I mean in Dubai. They take this program all around the world. I have never come across where Nigerian is there displaying or marketing
Or
Nigeria to the rest of the
do
world.
you think the problem you just mentioned now is restricted to South Africa, or we have the same problem in Spain that Nigerians does not engage in things like that?
That is the problem. We don't engage. The problem of Nigerian today, particularly of the politician, is because they are there not to the interest of the country, but to the interest of their pocket. Because I'm telling you what South Africa, what they are generating from tourism, the revenue they are generating from tourism. I'm telling you, you won't believe it when you hear it, and it's one of the serious area of where their revenue come from. So you can imagine if Nigeria could market tourism and agriculture, Nigeria is going to be something different. But every government, every even individual Nigerian want to be
But
into oil.
do you think tourism have got anything to do with agriculture?
No, I am just telling you. Of course, people come here that when we're talking about tourism, tourism is broad. Hospitality is broad. Are you getting my point? We get people that come here for medical tourism.
But agriculture to me is a business, isn't it?
It is a business, but there are ways you can grow it. There are ways you can grow agriculture.
Okay, okay. So tell me, who is do you have chairman or president for the Yoruba Association in South Africa?
Okay, let me tell you how it is being structured. In Southern Africa, we have Yoruba National Association of Yoruba Descendants, which is the national body for all Yorubas. In that regard, we have branches, which is chapters, under that national body. So the national body has national executive, which comprises of the president, vice president, secretary, all different portfolios. Then under national body in the chapters, we have chairman. We call the national body president, and the chapters they have their own executive as well. But the chapter leaders are called chairman, secretary, and down like that. But the national body is addressed as the president, secretary, and like that. So the name of the national president of the Yoruba descendant in Southern Africa is called Engineer Dennis Sheyi Akinleye.
Engineer Dennis Sheyi Akileye.
Akinleye. That is the
And where
current
is he
national
based in South
president.
Africa?
Our national executive are spread around the
No, I
South
mean the
African.
president. The president.
That's what I want to explain. The president is based in Durban, in the KwaZulu Natal. The president and the secretary are based in KwaZulu Natal. The national executive of Yoruba descendants in Southern Africa are spread around the
Sorry.
whole
Yeah.
province. Province is what we call states in Nigeria. Like in
Okay.
Western Cape, we have the women leader, the national women leader. In Gauteng, we have the treasurer and the vice president. In Eastern Cape, which is Mutata, that's where the financial secretary comes from. In Pumalanga, that's where we have the national PRO. In Nesprit is where we have the youth leader. So just like that.
Okay.
So that is how it's structured.
Okay. How does he coordinate everybody, every team around South Africa? How does he coordinate you guys? How do you have your meeting?
Okay, good. The national executive body have their own meetings. Normally meet and meet with the board of trustees as well. Now the chapters, which are the states, meet have their own time of meeting. But in the year, we normally have general assembly. We normally have end of the year program organized by the national body. We normally have the national body normally have women program, which the women leader coordinate that with the chapters uh, leadership.
Okay.
So, but at the National General Assembly,
Please. Okay.
all the chapter leaders
Okay.
need to attend that program every year.
And when does it come up in a year?
It varies. It once in a year, sometimes around November, October.
Okay. How many
But the
members do
but,
you have?
but the national executive meets. The national executive always meets with the board of trustees, and they used to have their own meeting, except if there is an emergency. And the national executive always go around to the chapters whenever the chapters have their own program.
Okay. How many board of trustees do you have?
The board of trustees we have is about 16.
16.
16 board of trustees, and they were choosing from different parts from all chapters.
And
Those are the
what are
people
the
that,
criteria to choose a board of trustee? Someone as a board of trustee, one of the board of trustee.
according to our national constitution, Age matters, one, and a board of trustee is not being chosen by the national executive. A board of trustee must come from different chapter, must be nominated from different chapter. And from different chapter, they must have seen the participation, the commitment of such person they are appointing, because board of trustee is as well representing his constituency at the national level at any time there is a meeting with the national executive.
Does it matter how many years they've spent with the Yoruba community before they can trust them? Because you said something now. You said they must have been working.
Yeah,
That means they
of
must
course,
be part
you
of the
cannot.
association.
Yeah, of course, yes. That's why I said the nomination of board of trustee must come from the chapters to the national executive. So it means they must have recognized you that you are a member in the chapter. You have been playing a elderly role. You have been assisting in different ways. In different ways, are you following me?
Yes.
So you cannot we have a lot of Yorubas that does not believe in the coming together of Yoruba. We have a lot of Yoruba that they said, no, I don't have time for this. Are you with me? And they are elderly. So we cannot look at them and say, we have some Yoruba that they wanted to be part of it. They don't have time, but they give their support. And even some of them are elderly. But when it's time to appoint a board of trustee to represent the chapter, because you are supporting, you are not participating, does not give us does not make you automatically that we should, because when you want to benefit from the association, you have to be member in a good standing. And when we are talking of member in a good standing, it means you have to be participating in every area, attending meetings, attending programs, and your financial support.
Okay.
So those are just the criteria to use from chapters to appoint a board of trustee to the national level.
Okay. What are the challenges you are facing? Though I know I'm supposed to ask that from the president, but at
Mm.
your own side,
Mm.
what are the challenges you are facing
In terms
with
of
with our people, bringing them together?
uh, you know, you know, to bring people together is a very difficult task. But people are coming these days. People are coming to understand that we need to come together, and our coming together not only because of our tradition, not only because of our culture, but we are living in a country where sometimes the the hostile level of the citizens of this country, when it comes to times of xenophobic. Are you with me?
Yes.
There's a lot of attack. There's a lot of killing. But like we used to tell our people, Yoruba bo oni kashira wa lóṣooṣù ọwọ̀ lálẹ́ gbálẹ̀ mọ́. Wọ́n ní tọ́ka bá síwájú tí paramọ́lẹ̀ tẹ̀lé téjò là bá ń wọ̀ bọ̀ lẹ́yìn wọn. Ta ló fẹ́ gbéná wojú ìkòkò wọn? You get my point? It's because we are scattered. It's because we are not together that these people take advantage of individual Nigerians or Yoruba. But if we can form a bond, come together, and speak with one voice, then we can be more protected. Then we can even achieve more. So some of them don't see it, some of them is looking at it now. Because one voice cannot speak for the whole voice. That's why if you look into our mission, one of our missions is that we should speak with one voice. Still, we still have challenges. Some people don't understand it. Some people always question, what does this association what am I going to benefit from this association? But people have forgotten that this life is about garbage in, garbage out. He who want to benefit from something must play his own role, must play
I
he
would
or her
like
own
to
role.
I would like you to expatiate more on the
Hmm.
xenophobic issue. What does it mean to those that may want to know the meaning?
Xenophobic is uh, when the citizen of South Africa sometimes, particularly when there is an utterance from all these political leaders during during the um, electioneering, because of vote or point they want to score. Sometimes they carelessly use unnecessary words like saying this foreigner in this land taking the job of our people, and this get into the head of the South African citizen. And don't forget that where these people are coming from, they're coming from area where they are still, the way they think is very different. So when such utterances come out from from leaders, political leaders, or sometimes they are traditional leaders, then it trigger them to act against foreign national. Not particularly with Nigerians alone, particularly all those foreign nationals that have businesses, because we understand some of them think it is the foreigner taking what they are supposed to be doing. So from there now, it has to trigger them. They have to be burning houses. They have to be fighting, looting the shops of foreigners or foreigner businesses. All those foreigner entrepreneurs that live in between, live among them. They start looting them, start fighting to the extent they can even kill when you are trying to be defensive. So that is what xenophobic does. And all foreigners are trying to form a bond to come together to see how we can defend such issue and particularly make sure that how we can strategically fight such uh, evil act.
And have you been successful fighting any case at all?
So far, so good. It used to be very serious years back, but right now, I think the politicians are watching their utterances these days, and I think it has suppressed a bit. It has suppressed a bit, even though we have not been able to see to put forward any cases because the foreign national has not really come together and form a bond. Even though we've just started recently, they started recently an organization where they want all foreign national to be member of that organization, so that if such things happen, then we can put things forward. But at this moment, every foreign national is just concerned about their own. As long as if it's not affecting in Nigeria, if Nigeria is not, if any Nigerian is not being killed, maybe Nigerian leaders will not get up. If Somalia is not being killed, Somalian people doesn't want to get up. If Congolese is not being killed, they are not going to get up. So at this very particular junction, if such xenophobic happen and affect Nigeria, we now cry out to the mission. Then the leadership of Nigerian organization now cry out to the mission, and the mission now take it from there. As long as we can have the evidence of, okay, it's a Nigerian that it was affected, and this is how it affects Nigeria, then the mission will take it up with the government of South Africa.
I would like to throw a question to you. How long does a Yoruba president, how long do they spend before you have to go
Their
for an
term,
election? And do you go for an election?
definitely, we do election of every 3 years.
So that tenure is 3 years.
Correct.
Okay. Um,
The president on now is the third democratically elected president. We've had the first ever president was Prince Adida Mark Adesomi. Then after that, I think we have an interim leader. Then after that, we have another president, that Professor Akingban Boye. And this current president was the deputy of Akingban Boye. So he's the one who succeed Akingban Boye when his term finished.
okay. So can I ask you again? How many members do you have in your own zone as Yoruba? How many members?
Um, in Western Cape chapter,
Yeah.
I will tell you we have we have over 200 members, and Western Cape is big. If you look at South African map, and these members we have in Western Cape, we still have a zone. We are a chapter, but under the chapter we have a zone because of the distance where Yorubas are living. We have a zone in Worcester where they have over 80 or 100 Yoruba there, but about 40 are members that are attending meetings. In Cape Town, in Parklands and Danune, we have roughly about 40 members as well. They had the general meeting last week Sunday in what do you call it? Kailicha area. We have over 200 Yorubas that I can guarantee you. Well, I think there are members. We have about 70 members in that area. In Cape Town, we have about 50 members that I'm telling as the Secretary General, high as the Secretary General, and those figures I'm giving you are the right figures. Even though sometimes at any general meeting, we may not, sometimes we have maybe less than 30, 40 at the meeting. But in different meetings, you always see different faces because of people's work schedule. When the meeting is today, maybe some people are working, they are not able to attend. But definitely in the following general meeting, you see them again.
Okay. In Cape Town,
Hmm.
the 200 people, you mentioned 200 people as your member,
Correct.
isn't it?
Right.
Do they attend meetings every now and then at the same time?
No, did who? Can you repeat the question?
Your members in Cape Town,
Uh-huh.
do they attend meetings whenever you call for meeting?
Yes, yes, yes. Like I said, Western Cape is a chapter under national that is big. And inside Western Cape, we have about 4 zones, 4 to 5 zones. All these zones have the dates of their meeting. Because this zone, like Worcester, for example, is 1 hour drive from Worcester to Cape Town. Now, in the constitution, we realize every distance, when there is a lot of distance, to save life, let there and where we have more than 10 Yoruba, let us start a zone and they start governing themselves there. That's where they don't have chairman, they only have coordinator. We only have one chairman, like a state leader in Western Cape. So all those zones have their time of meetings, different times. But one thing we do together is we do one event that brings all members together in a year. And I mean, twice in a year, and end of the year function, we all come together.
Okay.
If I can send you
For the
pictures of
four
some.
zone, for the four
Hmm.
zone, who is the chairman?
For the fourth zone, our chairman has just relocated to America. I am the Secretary General of the whole fourth zone as the state leader.
So
So
when are
on
you going
that,
to have an election for the four zone?
and that the next election will be coming anytime, I think in this year. Even though they have their leadership, they have election, internal election. It's just like their local governments. You understand what I'm trying to explain? Those zones are just like local government. So they have internal election to elect their leadership, which the highest hierarchy is coordinator, followed by the secretary and the PRO, whatever. Then in the state level, we have the chairman, the secretary general, and the PRO and the financial. Those are the
Would
ones that coordinate all the zones.
would you be
And
would you be contesting for an office should the election come up very soon?
no, come on, no, not at all. We are an elder of this organization right now. We are trying to bridge the youth, the young ones to take over. I am already a member of a national board of trustee. So we are expecting young generation to take over from there, and we just be guiding them.
Okay.
Not even not even
How
national
do
even even
you
national executive. I want to contest. Not even national executive.
okay? I would like to ask, how do you coordinate? How do you get sponsorship? How does it happen? Who pays the bills?
Which bills?
Like funding. You know, every organization needs funding.
That's right.
So how do you go about the funding?
The national have their structure, and I think that question will be thrown to the president. But in chapters, we at every general meeting of every zones, their membership fee that at every sitting we pay
Okay.
and keep. Anytime we want to have a program, particularly if a program is a national program and is brought to our zone, is going to be sponsored by the national with the support of the chapter. So if the chapter is having a program, we solicit for our sponsorship ourselves because the organization is registered. We use our registration, MPO registration, to fund to seek for funds, and sometimes fund comes from the member for any program we want to do.
Okay. And the event that is coming up,
Yeah, the 10 years anniversary.
what is it about?
It's about celebrating the 10 years that we have registered the national organization
Okay.
and coming together of all chapters come and celebrate the 10 years anniversary.
And which city is it going to be?
The 10 years anniversary is going to be in it's outside Alten in an hour drive from Haute in Pumalanga.
Okay. I would like to ask you in short one before we go back to the event, lest I forget.
Okay,
What exactly, I know you have answered it before, but I want it in a different way. What
okay.
exactly is the job or the benefit of being a member of the Yoruba Association?
Good. The benefit of being a member, one, as we live, like as I've said, that we live outside our shore. If we are in Nigeria, there will be nothing called Egbe Omo Yoruba. But because we are outside, your first benefit is protection. Your second benefit is to mingle with people and promote what you have come to do in this country. If you are doing business, to promote your business, to have relationship with your people. If you have issues, to find solution to your issues within the organization. For example, we have issues of you cannot live outside your country and be an illegal immigrant. There are many people that are illegal immigrants. And there are many people outside there that are milking more people, taking money from them in the name that they can assist them to get their papers or to make them a
You mean
legal
in
immigrant
South Africa?
in South Africa, which is not coming forth. So when you are a member of the organization, you come as a member. We are here to look after our welfare. If you have issues of papers, discuss with the organization. Let's see where the organization can be of assistance. If you have issue with accommodation or business, if you want to do anything you want to do, present it before the organization. But having said that, you have to be a member in good standing. You have to be a member that attend meetings. If you have those are the benefits. If you have issues, discuss your issues with the organization.
So as a Yoruba man, if I
Mm.
am not a member and you are called upon to defend a Yoruba man, you will not help me out.
No, we are going to as a Yoruba man. That's what I said. Number one is security. As a Yoruba man, if you have been having issues, we are going to get up to support you. After the problem is resolved, we make you understand the reason for you to belong and be a member and attend meetings because there are a lot of people are ignorant in this land that are ignorant of the law. They are ignorant of what is happening in this community. Many people, there is a lot of people come from Nigeria believing, looking for greener pasture. They get here, they were disappointed of what they believe they will see, and they get frustrated. And now we are trying to assist them that because you are here, you are already here. If you are not ready to go back, these are this and this and this that you can do to help yourself, to grow yourself. So those are part of the benefit of being a member of the organization. But if you are alone, how would you want to know? Number one, you cannot speak the language. You cannot relate with the people, the son of the soil. And already they are already being hostile to you, seeing you as a foreigner. They've already seen you that you are coming here again to take their business. They already see you that they are here to take their work, their job. Are you with me? So you won't be able to do anything. But when you belong to a group, an organization that speaks the language that you can understand, they can now guide you, assist you. This is doable. This is not doable. This is a direction. This is not a direction. This is what you can say. This is not what you can say. So those are the benefits.
Okay. So far, between the 10 years, how many
Right.
people have you been able to rescue with the organization generally in South Africa, not Cape Town?
Okay. To God be the glory. Recently, there's a professor, a Yoruba professor is now. That's where I'm going to. He's not even a member of the organization, but we heard that he has an issue with the South African educational system, maybe the university where he's working with, and it affects his son. And somebody now called us that there is a Yoruba man having an issue. Even his salary has not been paid for over 1.5 years or so. We did not say because he's not a member. I have to. I am one of those who was appointed to look at the issues. I have to fly from Cape Town to Johannesburg, which is 2 hours flight. Stay there for 3 days. We have to bring this man down. He's not staying in Aute. He's staying outside Aute about 4 5 hours. We have to bring this man down. And luckily for us, we have an advocate, a Yoruba man, an advocate, which is a member. That we now bring him in. We bring all elders, stakeholders, and the board of trustees to look at for him to narrate what really happened. And he explained what happened. And we look at and we found a solution. These are the area where we are going to help you. So we have gone in many. This is the recent one that we have done. We have heard
But were
where
you able to resolve the situation?
yes, 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 100%, and we gave that man a serious support because even in the issue we heard that his wife died on this issue, and those are part of what we are saying. He felt because he's a professor, he doesn't need Yoruba, because I spoke out bluntly to him that whatever you are, you can when you are outside, you cannot even if you are in Nigeria, you cannot say you don't need your family. Because if he has opened up long time, that sufferness for over a year wouldn't have been there. Are you with me, sir? That
I'm
sufferness,
listening to you.
what he has suffered for over a year wouldn't have been there. And luckily for him, when we brought him to come and explain what his issue there is a friend of his in the organization that is given the title of Baba Egbe of Yoruba Southern Africa. Baba Egbe did not even know that the person that is coming is his friend. So when he get to that gathering, he was so shocked. Seeing a schoolmate, a secondary schoolmate to university level, and knowing that he's the Babegbe of the organization. So he was so shocked that
For those who don't know the meaning of Babegbe, can you explain the meaning of Babegbe, please?
Babegbe means the father of the organization.
Okay. Let's go back to the event. When is it coming up?
Going to be on the 27th of April by the special grace of God, where we are expecting a couple of royal father and the Arion Okakamfo of Yoruba land, in which part of ministers of art and culture of South Africa should be in attendance, and some ambassadors of South Africa, and the Consul General will be the guest speaker. It's Consul General of Nigeria to South Africa.
Can you tell us the address where the event will come up?
The address, I will quickly tell you where the address is coming up now in 1 minute. It's in Pumalanga. in Pumalanga area. It's at the venue Tosan Street number 7, Wheatbank. It's coming up in Wheatbank.
Okay.
Starting from 2 o'clock till late.
Till the next day, or
No, we don't do the next day in South Africa till late.
it's not allowed.
No, no, no. It was by 10 or 12 o'clock we should vacate the hall.
Okay.
So the program is coming up in Wheatbank outside Gauteng.
Personally, let me ask you a question personally. I'm not talking apart from the association. What are your plans for the Yorubas in South Africa?
What a good question. Uh, my plan for Yoruba is number one. We need to at least build a hall or a school for Yoruba. We need to let this country, particularly because of this country believe in tradition and culture. We need to plant our tradition and culture in this land. So if God gives me the grace personally, I don't mind building a house, to do a
Yoruba
house.
home.
Thank you. We have, like example, we have a lot of Yoruba camps, even though we don't have money to be given to everybody, but we have a lot of people come. They were told about South Africa is a gateway to riches, and they get here, they are disappointed because they were not being well informed, and at the end of the day they have nothing. Some are sleeping on the street. So some of us are just accommodating them in our places or putting them in apartment, paying for them for a certain time. But if we can have a Yoruba home, a Yoruba house, where when they come, we can put them in for a period of time for them to be able to put themselves together than them being wandering around the street and get mugged by South Africans or get shot by South African or the street leading them into a crime which is giving our country a bad image. So these are the things that I think we can try to do to help to change the narrative. Change the narrative.
Okay. Um, Before we go, I would like you to give a word of message to those in Nigeria and around the world that is watching you right now.
Hmm.
As a Yoruba man, because we're on Yoruba subject today.
As a Yoruba man, uh, I want to Yorùbá bọ̀ wọ́n ní ọmọ tó bá sọ lẹ́nu ó gbé àpò ìyàkọ́. Iṣẹ́ ilé òun làbọ̀ sí ní ọkọ̀. I want to empower all Yoruba diaspora that we should always remember the son and daughter of whom we are. This is the song that our parents sings in the ears of most of us anytime we are leaving our shore. Not even to overseas alone. Anytime you are leaving your house, to even within Nigeria, they will tell you, remember the son and the daughter of whom you are. It is very important for us to uphold our tradition and culture. There is many things that is happening in the world these days that it's unbelievable to hear that Yoruba people are doing this. I have traveled around the world and I have seen things. Personally, with my opinion, I have never seen a culture that as rich as Yoruba. And in fairness, if our great grandfather have a record, I don't think there's difference between Yoruba language and religion. Because Yoruba is rich and full of things that can guide you of life. So I will appeal to particularly the Yorubas at home. They should encourage their children, their family. No matter how we speak English people knows that we are not an English person. And there is no way we can make people understand who we are if we don't let them know that this is who we are by promoting where we come from, our identity, our tradition, and our culture. That would be my advice for the whole Yoruba, both
Okay.
home and
It's
elsewhere.
been it's been nice talking to you tonight, sir.
Very
And
much.
it's unfortunate on the 27th that you are having your event. Clevenard will be having an event here in Spain, Palma de Mallorca as well.
Uh, I have actually instructed the secretary of the planning committee because I am the chairman of the planning committee. I've actually instructed him to send you an invitation.
As well.
Yeah, I have actually instructed the secretary to draft a letter and send you an invitation. But since you are telling me what your program is like now, we will definitely be keeping you posted of all our programs, and we want you to attend. Probably in our next election, we might even invite you to come and cover the election because our national election is always.
That would be great. And let me just brief you about the event, what it's supposed to achieve.
Oh, okay.
The Cleveland event is supposed to bridge the gap between Africa and Africans in diaspora.
Mm.
Why and how? Why is because we are few in numbers wherever we are. We can never be more than the nationals,
That's correct.
the citizens of the country. So that gives us limitation in doing businesses or communicating or transacting things together. So we want to
Mm-hmm.
use Cleveland to bring people down to South Africa, to people like you and other businesses, to be able to interact and do things together. So
Mm.
Cleveland will be looking forward to work with the Yoruba Association in South Africa in the nearest future. But that is a
Mm.
topic for another day. But it's something for you to go to bed with and think about.
Okay. No, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. I hope all other organizations and people you will talk to will look into this. For you said people don't understand that we need to have a bridge, and I will guarantee you one thing that I will speak with the president, even other organization, African organization that I belong to see how we can be to play a role in this kind of vision to make it come to reality.
Thank you very much, sir. It will be good night from Cleveland Studio. And God bless you. God bless your family. Thank you for giving us your time. And I hope, or we hope, and believe the next time we call on you to come and talk to us, you will give us your time.
At any time, it's going to be my pleasure. Anything as anything that has to do with empowerment, I always give my time.
Okay, sir. That will be good night from us, sir.